Hello there.
What's up, man?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm good.
It's
Had
been a
a
minute.
yeah. How was your holidays?
You guys have a good Christmas?
Yeah, it was pretty good. What about you?
It was really good. Now we just got to get through the new year tomorrow.
Yeah, I got to go to work in the morning. When I get down here, I got to leave and head to my in-laws about an hour away, hour and 40 minutes away, I guess. I got to go down there for them.
Yeah, we'll try to keep this brief if we can.
I was going to go this morning, then I remembered. Oh, I got a podcast today,
Well,
so
you could let me know and we could reschedule.
that's all right. Get it done.
No, that's on you, and mine already done it.
Yeah, it's just usual junk that pops up on my laptop here.
Yeah. So I'll ask you the same thing that I've asked everybody else the last couple of days on the other shows. Um, what's your goals for next year?
Oh goodness, I hadn't even thought about it.
Really?
Thought about it. Paranormal wise, I'd like to go back into investigations and all that. We really didn't do anything last year with everything going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to hit some investigations this year or this coming year. Uh, Build my class business up better than what it is now. Um, Personal wise, I want to get in a little bit better shape. I'm getting old. It's getting rough on me in the fire service.
Aren't we all? Getting old sucks, but Father Time never loses.
Well, it beats the alternative.
Yeah. Yeah. The only goal that I've only got one goal for next year, and that is to find an agent for my books. If I can get that, that's all I need because everything's gonna go from there.
Yeah, I've got a lot of, I got a lot of different stuff that I got going on a day-to-day basis. So it's, you know, scheduling more time to get everything accomplished in the time that I have.
Yeah.
So,
Paranormal
so
wise, I don't really have
what you
anything
plan
planned. No.
for New Year? What you
What's
plan
that?
for New Year? What is your plan for New Year's?
Oh, for the new year,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go over to Dad's house. We're gonna watch Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year and just celebrate. Just watch the ball drop and stick around for a little bit. Come home, go to bed, and get the new year started the right way.
Like I said, I'll be at work until 7 a.m. New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Hopefully, everything will be smooth tomorrow.
Yeah. You'll see. Hopefully, you guys don't get any calls.
Maybe
So
not.
last, huh?
I said maybe not.
Guess you'll find out. So last night you watched the Iron Claw. How was that?
Yeah, me and a buddy of mine, we used to go to wrestling shows together. Local wrestling shows around the area, small ones when we were teenagers. And we found out the Iron Claw was coming out, and decided we would take a trip to the movie theater last night. So it was really good. Uh, I know you haven't seen it yet, so I don't want to throw out too many spoilers. But I mean, the the history of the Von Erichs anyway, so it's like, where in the movie is this going to happen? That direction.
Right.
But it was a pretty good movie. Uh, Character wise, they did a pretty good job on choosing the right actors and how they looked in the film. Carrie, I wish they would have gotten somebody a little bigger for his character, height wise.
It's funny you should say that because I was just literally just watching the interview with the guy that played Carrie, and he was talking about that same thing that he said, okay, I'm pretty sure I can get the attitude down, but I'm just not tall enough to actually be him. So
Now his
he
look
actually talked
was
about it.
really good. His look was good. He just, to me, if they'd have, I don't know how they. I mean, they can do the CGI, but that CGI stuff is so expensive. I'm sure that was out of the cards. But the only other issue I had with character wise was Flair.
I've heard about
Other
that.
than the other than the blonde hair, that was about it. His signature "woo" was not even on. It was raspy. It was more like a yell than than the traditional thing he did. But yeah, they could have done a better job with the Flair character as far as who they cast on him, because he didn't. To me, is because when he come on the screen, we were sitting there looking, like, and we both kind of looked at each other like, "The hell," and it was like, but we were sitting next to a couple. Uh, Lady was sitting next to me with her, I guess her husband or whatever, and man, she was sobbing through the whole dang story.
Well, the tale of the Von Erichs is a really sad one. Indeed, it's um, no father should ever go through what Fritz has gone through.
Well, they had the mother was in there. I don't remember her name off the top of my head, the actress, but she played in Liar Liar with Jim Carrey. She was the mother in that one. So
Okay.
same female. It took me a minute to realize who she was. I knew I'd seen her. But yeah, it was what she went through, and what not only Fritz but her and the other boys. To lose that many kids is, I can't imagine losing one, much less five.
Right.
Or
I hate.
one, two,
Yeah,
three,
I cannot imagine.
five.
Yeah, and four of them were within a 10 years. Not even that. 9 year span.
Yeah, they left out one brother out of the movie, Chris.
Yes.
Um, I don't know why that is.
It was actually explained. Um, I saw not too long ago that there was an explanation as to why he was not included, and everyone agreed, including Kevin, agreed that it made sense film wise to not include him. Here it is. Explains why Chris is written out. Where is it?
Now, I read one part where they kind of combined him and Carrie into one character. Uh, you already got a lot of tragedy in there, so another tragedy. I mean,
That's what it said right here. There was a repetition to it, and it was one more tragedy that the film couldn't really withstand. It, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
It does make sense, but when you take real life and put it into film, it's next to impossible to get it exact. Um, and there are times where you have
Yeah.
to
Well, I
cut.
mean, I see stuff on. I looked at some stuff today about the um, comments, things like that. About one about Chris, one about, well, this didn't happen, that didn't happen, this is not the way it went. It's like it's based on a true story. You know, um, it's not to say it's not a documentary.
Right.
It's a film. Um, so people got to
Kevin had one
outside the box.
request. Yeah, Kevin had one request for the film, and that was that it lets the people know, the viewers know, how much he loved his brothers. That was the one thing he wanted to make sure of, that the film got right, and apparently it did. Um, I cannot wait to see this movie. I have known about the Von Erich tragedy for, well, ever since Carrie died,
Hmm.
and that was how I found out about all of his other brothers. And in doing some more research, I found out that for a long time he was actually wrestling with either, um,
Prosthetic.
yeah, either his whole foot was amputated or half of his foot was amputated.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I vaguely remember him in WWE or WWF at the time.
Yeah,
Um, I'm wanting to say that was kind of a time when I wasn't watching. Um, but yeah, I mean, I do remember seeing him, but uh, and hear about him. But I never knew that he had lost until recently. I never knew he had lost part of his leg and was still wrestling. With
even when he was wrestling, there was a lot of people didn't realize that he didn't have a foot. Um, he kept that very hidden from the rest of the boys in the locker room. And when you're watching him, especially at the Royal Rumble when he was running out, um, in the '91 Rumble, when he ran out to the ring when it was his time to get in there, you couldn't tell that he had perfected it so well, nobody could tell that he had an amputated foot.
yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch some of the older matches with him in the WWF. Um, I guess SummerSlam '91, maybe, where he won the Intercontinental.
90.
Was it '90?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm going to go back and watch some of that stuff. Um, but just tragic story of.
It really is. And I'm glad that Kerry got a chance to be on the main stage like the WWF. Um, it was just too short lived,
Yeah,
way too short lived.
and I don't know the details of why not renew the contract and go to.
Well, he signed on in '90, and then he left in mid to late '92, and he died in February '93. Um, he had gotten a divorce in April of '92. His the last brother that died before he did. Um, Chris died in September of '91, which was right after SummerSlam '91.
Yeah.
Uh, there was a there was a passage in Bret Hart's book. He was talking about Kerry, and Kerry was talking about his desire to be with his brothers again. And Bret had said something along the line that the family that's still here need him more than the ones that are not here. Um, at the time of Kerry's death, his daughter Lacey was 6 or 7 years old. And she became a wrestler for a short time. She wrestled in TNA.
Yeah. I was looking at her. She wrestled for 3 years. She had
Yeah.
a bout with meningitis.
Yep.
And it's probably what. And then meningitis ain't no joke. Um, it's treatable if it's caught early. But one of my best friends growing up died from meningitis. He had a sinus headache for a month, and before he wouldn't go to the doctor with it, and then he went to the doctor and found out that he had meningitis, and it just went downhill from there.
Well, she ended up retiring in 2010, and then a year later she got married.
I think
Uh,
what it said, she runs a ad business over in California.
I saw something where she is a promoter. Let me this retired 2010.
Maybe it's one of the other kids that I'm thinking about.
In 2021, she became part owner of SWE Fury along with business partner Tom Lance. Um, SWE Fury is a Texas-based promotion billed as delivering in-your-face Texas-style wrestling. So she is a wrestling promoter.
Kevin, he's got the two boys that they showed in the movie. Of course, his wife was pregnant with the third, and from what I saw, that he had a daughter that didn't. I'm not sure what the details on that, but she didn't. She was born and died the same year. So I don't know if it was during childbirth or SIDS or what have you.
I know that David had a child that only made it 2 months before it died from SIDS. Uh, Kevin, I don't. Let's see.
Maybe it was David. I was looking on Wiki last night, late at night. So
Well, Kevin does have two daughters and the two sons who are wrestlers in AEW now.
yeah, I want to say wasn't long ago that he showed up at AEW a couple shows.
He did, and he got in the ring and he put the claw on Jake Hager. And the guy's 65 years old, and he looks damn good for being 65. And you could tell he was loving it.
Yeah.
when
I mean, you've
when
been away from that so long. You
yeah.
get that opportunity to come in and be a part of the show again.
And now his sons are up on the big stage. They're having a good time. So I think maybe it's probably only a matter of time within the next 5 years that the Von Erich boys will end up in WWE.
I agree, and that'll be nice to see. That family coming back in after so many years.
Yeah, because the Von Erichs they have a legacy, but it's really sad. Um, but I would think that with by them, well, they can really build it up with AEW, honestly. Um, but unfortunately, AEW is not on the level as WWE is.
No,
Um,
and then I mean WWE is just getting better as it goes along, as far as storyline wise, in my opinion.
better and bigger
Yeah,
and bigger, and I like that they're stretching out the storylines over a long period of time. Because look what they're doing with Judgment Day. They're doing so well with them. Um, it seems like they have finally decided, okay, we can no longer do this short burst stuff that we have been doing for the last 20 years.
yeah, it gives you more build up and it gives you more depth to the stories and everything when you stretch it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they started doing the monthly pay-per-views, I think that was when it started suffering. Um, and they probably felt like, well, we can't afford to have a thing going on for so many months because we need to have something every 4 weeks. And I get
Well,
it
and
from
it
that.
makes more sense. It makes more sense to do the long term, and you can work that story and turn it different directions. Instead of coming up with a whole new story, and then you got 30 days of it and it's over. Then we come up with another story, you know,
Yeah,
to go along with. It just makes more sense long term to, um, develop the same story with your twists and turns and all.
yeah, and I got to be honest. The Bloodline stories has had more turns than Big Show had when he going from face to heel and back to face.
Yeah,
Um, but
and
it
it gives
keeps people on their toes.
yeah, and it, like we're talking about like Judgment Day. When is Damien gonna turn babyface? When is he gonna turn? So that's a bunch of different speculations of where things are going and how things are developing.
I thought for sure that it was going to happen at the Rumble. Now I'm second guessing it simply because CM Punk is in the Rumble.
Yeah,
Uh, I was fully expecting it to be CM Punk and Seth Rollins for the title at the Rumble, but now that Punk is in the Rumble, that kind of changes what I'm thinking uh, because now
I
I'm
hope
Punk will be the winner.
I hope not. Just popping back in and now, and I guess you could say the same thing for Cody Rhodes when he came in and did all that last year. Just the whole. I mean, I'm not a big CM Punk fan anyway. Um, I guess that's why I just don't want to see him win the Rumble.
I just because if it's not CM Punk, everybody is saying that it's going to be Cody Rhodes, but he already won the Rumble last year, and I just don't see him as being that dominant where he would win the Rumble 2 years in a row. I just don't see it.
Why? morning, nothing.
A week after Survivor Series, no, 2 days after Survivor Series, Cody Rhodes declared for the Rumble. Still in November. Um, in the past, they used to start announcing people for the Rumble about mid-December. And then last year, Kofi said he was going to be in the Rumble in the first week of December, which had been the earliest they had ever done that, and then not announce another person for over a month. And then Cody, at the very end of November, says he's going to be in the Rumble. Why are they doing this so early and then just not mention another name for the Rumble for so long?
Not sure. I saw a supposed cheat sheet leaked.
Oh, don't.
Of
They
who?
they do that every year. Somebody makes that up and say, "Hey, look what I found online."
Yeah. So I ain't putting a whole lot of,
Yeah.
you know.
But it would make sense for Jey Uso to be number one so that he can get the fans going and doing that thing that he does all the time. It wouldn't make sense for him to be number one this year. And by having him as number one, they would then need to put Jimmy towards the end of the Rumble so that they don't meet up in the ring.
Now, if they do in them two clash, say kind of a point where everybody's kind of down for a second, them two standing up in the middle of the ring and then fixing to go at it, and then of course they get broke up by somebody, a couple other guys. That would be, I would like to see that.
That would be something else.
It would
Now,
not-
here's another thing. What if Solo is in the Rumble and Solo ends up winning the Rumble?
yeah, I don't see him going in that direction. I mean, I don't see him going in that direction with it.
If
mean,
you remember, there had been little teasers here and there where Roman would bump into Solo. Solo would look at him, and Roman would look like, "Oh shit!" He had that look on his face, like he's afraid of Solo. So
Now I don't know when it was, but I saw a thing where he was Roman was talking about. I guess once he's gone, the new tribal chief will be Solo.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was recent or what.
that was just a couple of weeks ago, actually. Yeah, when Roman came back, his first SmackDown back after Survivor Series, because Jey Uso was getting all ready, or Jimmy Uso was getting all ready to be announced as the heir to the tribal chief. And oh man, Jimmy he's gold. He is so good at what he does.
Yeah, I see
Hopefully,
some Jay clashing soon. Hopefully it'll be at WrestleMania where them two.
well, there's no way they would do it any other time. That's what they want, Jimmy and Jay. They had an interview early this year say at one point they wanted to be them facing each other at WrestleMania. And I gotta say, I'm really surprised that they're going to be doing it this soon. I figured if anything, it'd be another couple more years, but oh no,
They're gonna get it while it's hot.
yeah.
So if Solo does win, that's going to put a big twist in the plot of WrestleMania.
It would.
Now, saying
Re-
that,
Remember when Batista? Wait, were you watching wrestling when Batista won the Rumble the first time?
with him and Triple H,
Yeah. Remember how Triple H kept nudging him to go after the other championship?
yeah,
And Batista decided, no, I'm going for this one. I could see Roman doing that because if Solo wins, Roman's going to automatically assume he's going to go after Seth. You go after Seth, you be good. And Solo be like, now, wait a minute. I could see them redoing that storyline because that would be a big twist for this one.
yeah. And I mean, you say you wind up winning the Rumble. It's not necessarily, you're not necessarily going for Universal. You still got the world title
Yeah.
to actually go for. So I look at it. Who knows what they're going to do? They got to have somebody for Roman to face. And
Yeah.
how the CM Punk and Seth Rollins, and then you got
It'll end up being those two
Orton
at
mix.
WrestleMania.
Then you got Randy Orton in the mix. So
Randy, I think, is going to end up being the one taking on Roman at the Rumble.
and I saw a thing where him and Randy and Roman were in the ring together.
Yes.
And he said something about, he is a legend, but I'm a legend killer.
Yep. Oh man, that was good.
I would enjoy seeing Randy and Roman. I think it would be a good match.
Randy and yeah, and I think that's what they're going to do because they got Roman, they got Randy, LA Knight, and AJ Styles in that triple threat for next week. And the winner of that taking on Roman, I think it's going to end up being Randy. I think now, with the way
At the Rumble or WrestleMania?
What's that?
At the Rumble or WrestleMania?
At the Rumble.
Okay, well, if he takes on, say that Solo does win, and then Randy and Roman are fighting at Rumble, and then somehow not Solo gets involved in there, and something happens. He inadvertently hits Roman, but Roman still wins. And then you got some heat built up a little bit on, trouble in the bloodline.
Yep.
Or Roman accidentally hits. I would see Roman Solo getting in there, referee's down, Solo's jumps in, Roman inadvertently hits Solo with a super kick or whatever, but still winds up winning the match.
Yeah.
And
for the Rumble, I'm now changing my prediction. Before I said it would be the 4 members of Judgment Day being the final 4. Now I am thinking it'll be Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Solo Sikoa, and LA Knight. I see those 4 being the final 4 in this year's Rumble.
Cody's definitely going to be there. CM Punk's definitely going to be there. If it would work really good with what we're talking about for Solo to be one of those last ones. I don't know what they're doing with LA Knight. They got him pushing him, but it's like, where is he fitting in with your current storyline?
Right. That's why I said that when they put him in the title match at Crown Jewel, it was too soon. Because the momentum is just...
You didn't have time to build it up.
Yeah. But his momentum did not go down when he lost. Now, granted, he wasn't in Survivor Series. I feel like he should have been. Or was he? I don't even remember now. Survivor Series. Yeah, he was not a Survivor Series. I feel like he should have been. And I think that if Randy Orton wasn't ready to come back, then he would have been that fourth man for the Survivor Series team. I think if nothing else, LA Knight will go for one of the secondary titles at WrestleMania. Win it. Probably the U.S. title. Since Logan and Paul is on that brand that with him. So I'm going to go with Logan Paul and LA Knight at WrestleMania.
I don't know why this. Well, this is doing is trying to get into the.
And those clickety clats are loud.
Sorry. You know, we had one. Got Heath Edwards had commented. He was with Fallen Shadows Paranormal. I've been on many investigations with him. Him and his rest of the team there, they're good people.
But that's what I'm predicting now is going to be Punk, Cody, LA, and Solo Final Four at the Rumble. Because at that point, all four are in that position where it's like any of them could be the winner. And you can see all four of them being the winner. You don't get that very much.
I don't think LA Knight will wind up winning it. Just simple fact of, they've already done that. Who knows what they'll do? What if there's a triple threat, match?
No, not. I don't see them doing a triple threat. Not taking it off of Roman. It's got to be one-on-one. It's got to be a clean finish. It has to be a dominant, clean finish for Roman to lose those titles. It has to be decisive, and I don't know. I don't see a triple threat being the answer to that. But I just don't like the idea of Cody and Roman again. They've already done that. But here's a kick. Here's a twist, though. At Elimination Chamber in February, The Rock is going to be there. It's already announced. The Rock is going to be at Elimination Chamber. They haven't said in what capacity, just that he's going to be there. So that might be yet another twist in the plan because the fans want The Rock and Roman.
That would be huge.
Yes. And WrestleMania 40 is the place to do it because of its anniversary. It's 40 years. You don't want to do it at 39. You don't want to do it at 41. You have got to do it at 40, and that's the perfect place to do it.
So if you wind up doing it, Rock and Roman there, and I see when Roman winds up losing, it's going to be a transition much like you had when Stone Cold beat Shawn, and then Shawn just kind of disappeared, for a little while, and then it was, Triple H that next night just, taking over, DX. I
Yeah.
see the same thing happening with Roman. When he does lose, it's going to be he's going to disappear for a while.
Well, there's a lot of speculation that WrestleMania is going to be his last match. Period. That he'll be making the transition to doing movies, and it makes sense because Roman is not exactly in the best of health, and we saw at Crown Jewel how he was breathing extra hard, uh, which told me that he hasn't fully recovered.
From leukemia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if there is somebody who take the titles off of him, I would say The Rock. So if that's the case, then that means Solo can't win the Rumble. It would have to be CM Punk so that he can go after Seth and his title.
Right. And then, I just see somewhere down the line over the next year, Cody winning something, winning one of the titles. It would make more sense to me for him to go after the world title than the Universal.
If CM Punk wins, Cody can go after that. But the thing about The Rock, say he does win the title, how long is he going to be able to do it?
Keeps it for a year, keeps it for a month, and then loses it.
But would that be the right way to follow up the reign that Roman had?
It might put more emphasis on the whole fact of him keeping it so long. Is there going to be another long title run? No. It's going to. I see it changing hands. A couple times during 2024.
Yeah. What? Okay. What if Rock loses it at SummerSlam?
But you never know at that point in time who it's going to go to. It would be. If Rock winds up beating Roman, then I see Solo stepping in and being the next opponent for The Rock.
Oh yeah, I agree on that one.
And maybe that's the way to do it, where he keeps it but doesn't keep it very long. It goes right back to the bloodline. And then you have a little bit of problems within the bloodline.
Say Solo wins. Solo beats The Rock. Jay can come after him now.
Yep. So they're changing. They're still going with a bloodline storyline, and you're doing those twists and turns within the bloodline.
And
story on.
That would be the only time in history. Well, one, it'd be the first time ever that the world title goes from a family member to another family member. That would be a first, as far as I know. It came close with Brett and Owen. So if they did 4 of them in a row like that, as if their legacy wasn't cemented already, it would be after that.
Yeah, you go from Roman to The Rock, Rock to Solo, Solo to Jay.
Yeah. Then when Jay wins the title, then Jimmy can come after him.
Yep.
This might be that fifth, sixth, seventh inning that Paul Heyman is talking about.
What's that now?
Uh, they, they equated the bloodline storyline to the 7 innings of a baseball game. And at one point last year, somebody had asked, okay, what inning are we in? We are in the 3rd inning. So it's almost as if the way that they're doing it each year is 1 inning for the bloodline. But I don't know if they can keep it up for another 4 years.
No. If Roman steps out, who knows? Who knows the way they're able to do the storylines and
Yeah.
the writing and all that, keep it going for another couple of years. There's only so much you can do.
Yeah. So once we know what happens at the Rumble, we can almost bet what's going to happen at Elimination Chamber. It'll either be Cody winning the Elimination Chamber match, which is set. This is the person coming after Roman, or The Rock is going to come in and be a part of the Elimination Chamber and win it. His Rock can come in and say, you know what? Roman's been running his mouth. I am tired of it. It is time to do something.
If The Rock winds up getting in there, then you know for a fact that he's going to wind up winning.
Yes. And he's announced for the event. He didn't say he's going to wrestle, but he's announced it. I can't see him going and not wrestling.
The pop when he hits is going to be ungodly. When that music comes on,
yeah,
you ain't go to think straight inside that arena.
And they're going to be in Australia for that event. So imagine how much extra special it'll be for them that The Rock travels from the U.S. to there. You thought the pop that CM Punk got when he came back at Survivor Series, that's just going to blow it out of the water. We can speculate.
One of the biggest pops I still remember is Edge coming back. That was just freaking loud.
Yeah. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen.
We ain't got long.
Nope.
Most into January now.
So let's talk about the Rumble. Right now, we have Cody Rhodes and CM Punk in the men's Rumble, and Bayley and Nia Jax in the women's Rumble. On Monday Night Raw, day one, that's what they're calling it. They say that a former WWE champion is coming back. People are thinking Big E is coming back. If that's the case, personally, I would wait until the Rumble to bring him back as a surprise. But however they want to do it.
Now, I've been reading on Sasha Banks where they were in talks. WWE was in talks with her coming back, and now they've thrown out, that negotiations, kind of fell through. Nothing bad. It just didn't work. Now, is that a work?
That's what I'm thinking. Hi, Chris.
If she doesn't show up at AEW, if she doesn't show up on another show between now and then, now in the Rumble, then I say it's a work.
Yeah.
If she pops up on AEW, you know, pops in there, it's like, okay, well, then she's not coming back. Hey, Chris.
If nothing happens until the Rumble, I don't see how she's not in the Rumble.
Right.
But I am predicting that Jade Cardell is going to be the winner of the Rumble. Because she signed September, I think, and they've been working with her in the performance center, training, and and she's got a lot of buzz to her name. I think that she is going to come into the Rumble. It'll be her first ever WWE match. She'll be the winner of the Rumble. And that would be one hell of a debut. They were going to do that with Scott Steiner.
I was just thinking about that when you were talking about, her coming in and building her up and all that. I was just thinking back when Scott came in. I was like, oh my God, that was a disaster.
Yeah. They were going to do that with Scott Steiner in 93 because he was the original plan to be the winner of the Rumble, but Scott did not want to split from Rick.
Well, I'm talking about when he came back and main evented maybe against Triple H.
Oh, that one.
Oh my God, it was horrible. I watched that match and it was like, oh my God, just end. Please just somebody pin somebody because this is awful. He couldn't move, couldn't do anything. He had a couple moves and that was it.
Yeah, no, this was when Scott was really, really good. They found out that Rick and Scott were no longer with WCW. Bruce Pritchard wanted to bring Scott in, debut him at the Rumble, win the Rumble, and then go on to take on Bret Hart at WrestleMania. And I think for that time frame, that would have been a hell of a match. So they never really had the opportunity to have somebody debut at the Rumble and win. They've had people return to the Rumble and win, but never debut. And I think with Jade, with what she's built already, I think this would be their perfect opportunity to do that.
Yeah, I haven't seen her work unless they wound up having Bayley win it and kind of splitting their little group up because I see her getting ousted anyway. I see her getting kicked out. I see a turn. Eventually, Bayley getting removed from there.
And I can see from that point Bayley winning, because that would make her the third of the 4 horsewomen to win the Rumble. Charlotte's won, Becky's won, so that leaves her and Sasha. So I can see from that point.
And if Sasha does show back up, then you got something to build off there. If Bayley winds up winning at WrestleMania or whatever, or Sasha gets in the mix of it, then you got them two going at each other.
The dream match is Jade and Bianca at WrestleMania. But I've always felt that it should be Bianca and Rhea. Because to me, they are the female equivalent for this time period of Rock and Stone Cold from 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that have said that they don't agree with that, but there is something that I see with those two that reminds me so much of Rock and Stone Cold.
Well, after I think it was the last pay per view, the War Games. After War Games, to me, the women's match was better than most, if not the best match on the card that night. As far as what went on in there, now you're coming up to the Rumble. Are they going to keep that hype up and have the best match of the night? Is the women's Rumble going to be the best one? It's really upped the game in the past few years. Io Sky coming off the top in a garbage can. I mean, that's insane.
It was insane. I don't think you could pay me enough money to do that. That is. Now we knew they were going to do a holy shit moment, but I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Because that was not only dangerous for her, but dangerous for them.
Yeah. I mean, just think if she slipped and went off the backside of that thing. There's no telling where she would have landed.
If it didn't kill her, she'd have been seriously injured.
Yeah. But yeah, it's nuts how they've you think back in the 90s and all, when more or less they were out there for eye candy and all that, and really just not being much athletic wise in the ring, and now where they've come from that to now. People like Trish and Lita and all them, open doors up to where now it's the norm.
I know I appreciate the athleticism that they have, but I think they're trying to push the athleticism too much.
Well, you think about it, if you think about and compare it to what the guys do and what the females are doing. I mean, the females are, raising the bar up for themselves to meet up with the male.
They have, yeah.
Male competitors. So, take the difference between male and female completely out of the equation. You got this wrestling group and this wrestling group, going, at it, not together, but what I'm saying is competitive wise.
They have come a long way from back in the days of bra and panties matches and Jello mud matches and things like that. Now they're showing the men, hey, we're keeping up with you. You better step up your game now.
Yeah. You think about it this way. All right, say if Logan Paul was up top in the garbage can, would we think about it the same way as we did Io Sky?
I would say yes, at least for me, because jumping down 15 feet in a trash can, no matter what sex you are, is an incredibly risky move and a very dangerous move. I don't know.
Well, kind of, you think back when Taker threw Mankind off the cage, off the Hell in a Cell. That was one of those big holy shit moments, that sticks out.
Nobody had ever done anything like that before. And yeah, Chris, everybody popped for that, but damn.
It's like raising the bar. Okay, where can we go from here? What's the next big? How can we top this? How can we top the garbage can now?
I don't want to see where they go from that, because somebody's going to end up pushing it too far and getting hurt. I just saw a clip the other day where um, it was an independent wrestling match, and they were in a high school gym. Somebody had somebody was laying on a table, and this guy got up on he was like on the rafters or something like that, and he went to go jump on this guy on the table, completely missed him, and landed flat on the floor. And he was 20 feet up or something like that. Completely missed the guy that was laying on the table. Yes, they are. They are. Um,
Yeah. I saw some bot stuff the other day on independent stuff, and this one guy was going to do looked like he was going to do a power bomb from the top rope. And when he went to pick him up, they both fell off to the back and side to the ring floor.
ooh,
It was like, oh my god! It's just like somebody has to be in the hospital after that.
something like that just hurt Charlotte a couple weeks ago. Charlotte was up on the ropes. Oscar was coming up and trying to do something. They both lost their footing. Oscar fell back, and Charlotte flipped around the rope and hit, and her leg either snagged the rope or hit the. I think it snagged, and then it hit the ring mat, and she tore her ACL, MCL, to everything. She's going to be out for 9 months.
Yeah, she's going to be out for a good little while, and she just
Yeah,
signed a big contract.
I know. It's and I feel bad for Charlotte because she gets in a yeah she gets injured a lot. Uh, but that's what happens when you try to do all of these high spots so many times because eventually it's going to catch up with you.
No, I mean even Ray is getting as old as he's getting. He still has things here and there that mishaps.
Yeah, well, he's toned it down as he gets older.
Yeah, and you got to.
Yeah. Um,
Totally different scenario. But I mean, I my brain understand or my brain doesn't listen to my body a lot of times when there's stuff in class that I do. It's like I know, you know, there's certain things I don't need to do as much, because of my knees and stuff like that.
right.
But I've been the type that's always been stand up, um, stand up instructor in active and showing what I want you to do, or showing different stuff. And I can't sit down in an armchair or teach. It's just not who I am. But I'm having to do that some, um, well, not essential stuff. But I mean, it's getting that transition where I'm getting to that point. You know, I remember my instructor getting to the point of my age and kind of doing less physically and more, up here, teaching, and it's hard.
Well, now it makes me wonder what are they going to do at the Rumble because you had that spot with Logan Paul and Ricochet. Um, so what are they going to do at that point? And yes, Chris, it wasn't the move itself. It was the way that the guy hit the ropes. Um,
Yeah,
that's what did it. The way that he hit the ropes. It wasn't the move itself, although it was the move that pushed him into those ropes. But it was that impact of the.
I mean, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there was something to do with that guy health wise. Anyway,
I I think so. Yes. Um, Let's see if I can find it. Here we go.
Chris, if you're just tuning in, I went and seen. Didn't catch us during the first part. I went last night and seen the Iron Claw. We're discussing that a good bit on the beginning of the show. Really good movie. If you go in it looking for, a documentary type, it's not what it is. It's a movie. But all in all, it was a good show. You got to see some of the wrestlers from years ago, portrayed by different actors and stuff like that. Freebirds characters were in there. Skandar Akbar was there just a little bit. Flair, of course. I didn't really like the Flair pick, who they picked for it, because he didn't fit. He didn't fit the character to me. Other than the blonde hair, that was about it.
Okay, here we go. Pedro Aguayo Jr. Died from a cervical spine trauma as a result of the drop kick. That it was severe whiplash trauma that snapped his neck. The cause of death was later determined as cardiac arrest due to cervical stroke caused by 3 fractured vertebrae. So yeah, it was from the impact of the ropes.
So I shared, when we started this up, I shared the podcast to a bunch of different wrestling podcast Facebook pages. So
I did too.
People are coming in from one of those spots. Let us know.
Yeah, I know there was one that kept declining, saying no podcast, no self promotion.
Well, this was all for podcasts.
Yeah.
It was. I didn't share it to any wrestling spots.
Okay.
But I did share it to wrestling podcasts.
I did share out to a couple of groups, so we shall see.
Land OG. Somebody likes it somewhere. Where are we at? Wrestling podcast group.
Oh.
But if you look up wrestling podcasts on Facebook, you'll find a bunch of different groups where you can share what we got going out to different places and all.
That'd be good. I know a lot of wrestling podcasts out there.
Yeah, I agree.
At the Royal Rumble, it is synonymous with surprise returns and one-time deals. I think Big E will make a return. Everything that I've been reading about him is that he is doing so good. It's been 2 years now. He is doing incredibly well with his neck. Also, Braun Strowman has been given the clear to start working out again. So I think he will probably make a return to the Rumble. I would like to think that this whole thing with Sasha Banks is a work, and that she will return to the Rumble.
Yeah, because way social media is so much now, there's nothing. When you start talking, to people possibly coming back, it's out there. It's out there so much. So why not say, oh, we didn't agree on negotiations, and we're going different route, and then her stay quiet for whatever
Right.
till the time, just like they did with Cody. They kept it kind of hush. I mean, it was still out there, but
Or Cody coming to the Rumble?
yeah, they
No,
kept it.
they announced him for the Rumble like 3 weeks ahead of time.
Not this time. I'm talking about the first time when he came back.
When he came back from his shoulder injury.
No, when he came back to period.
Oh, that one. Yeah, they did keep that under wraps. Not very well, but
But yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah. People kind of knew he was coming back.
God, what kind of pop would it be if the Undertaker bomb went off the bell?
Oh shit, that would people would go nuts. People would go nuts. Hi, Jill. Um,
Hey, Joe.
yeah, that would be insane if he came back for the Rumble. But I don't want to say that's not going to happen because we've been surprised before.
Yeah, but I mean, if I mean, I don't even know how that would play into a storyline or be a one-time deal. You know, I don't even know how you could operate that because you couldn't have somebody throw him out.
Yeah,
You have to go out himself, going after somebody, but then you have to, open up another storyline for that to happen. I don't know how you would put him in the wrong.
He went out in the best way possible.
Yeah. The devil will appear at the moment.
He's talking about CM Punk.
Oh yeah.
He does not like CM Punk.
I'm not a big fan of Punk either. I'm with you, Chris. I don't know what it is. I guess it's the whole trash talk and stuff, after he left, and just I don't know, it sits with me.
Right.
Say you change and all that, and people change, but just you can change, but you can't forget.
Right. What about some of the NXT guys? I know that they like to throw in like one or two wrestler from NXT.
Is Breaker coming?
I'm thinking him because it's time. It's time for him to come out. I'm thinking him and maybe Carmelo. Carmelo has actually been wrestling on SmackDown a couple times.
Yeah, I see Braun jumping in there, and
Yeah.
I'm not really. I've tried to watch the NXT stuff. I have, and it's like it just isn't there for me. It's not as exciting, to me on there. Maybe if I give it some time, it's like the AEW stuff. I tried to watch a couple of, episodes because there's a lot of stars, like Sting and Flair and all them, and then Jake Robert was in there at one point in time. It's like,
and Jake looks so good, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He finally looks healthy.
Yeah, I would love when he showed back up at, was it WrestleMania? Was it Rumble? It had to be WrestleMania. When he showed back up with the snake, and it was like he comes in and does a little thing, and the thing was like, and everybody was waiting for the DDT, but it never came. It's like, damn, you're gonna bring him back. He's got to DDT somebody. That's just
Yeah, he does have to DDT somebody. Well, I don't know if his body could be able to take that anymore. Chris is thinking Tiffany Stratton for the Rumble. I don't know. I like Cora Jade. I like her. And I recently found out that Cora is actually dating Braun Breaker.
Really. So that would be a good them two coming over together.
It would be. It would be. Um, I also like uh, who was it? She was in the Deadline. Fallon Henley. I like her. Uh,
Uh,
I'm not sold on Roxanne Perez. I'm not sold on her. Lash Legend would be a good one. She's a big, tall woman. Um, and she actually picked up and slammed Otis.
really.
Yes. So if they get her on the main roster, she's going to turn some heads. I'd like to see Maxine Dupree in the Rumble this year. She is still very, very green, but I think a brief appearance in the Rumble will be good for her. Um, another person that I really like on the men's side is Josh Briggs. To me, he had a hell of a showing at Deadline, and I think it's time for him to move up to the main roster and get him in the Rumble. I think he's another big guy, tall, not like big, but he's a big, tall guy. Um, and I thought he did very well at Deadline, and I think that it's probably time for him to make the jump up to the main roster. So those are the three names for the on the men's side that I would like to see in the Rumble: Josh Briggs, Braun Breaker, and Carmelo Hayes. And then for the women's side, Cora Jade, Fallon Henley. Um, I don't think Tiffany is ready to leave NXT yet because she's just now starting to build something there. Same with Iya. Uh, well, actually, a one time thing would make sense because there was a time when they were having the NXT champion come into the Rumble. Um, but with what they're doing with him now, it would make sense for him to be in the
Oh, what do you think they're doing with Nikki Cross?
Rumble. Nikki Cross, I don't know what they're doing with her. It's weird.
Yeah, she's coming out and just kind of just not doing anything. She's just staring.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work for the Rumble.
No.
When she came out into the Rumble, she came out full sprint. I remember the look on her face. She was running full sprint down that aisle. She was ready to get going. She was crazy. Now it's like that's all she does. I don't see that. I don't see her being in the Rumble at all.
I think she will. I think she'll show up in the Rumble, and
If she does, she's just gonna get in there and stand there until somebody picks her up and throw her out.
unless she just goes completely stares for a minute and then just goes completely nuts. Just hitting everybody.
Actually, that could work.
And just something snaps and she just goes off on everybody.
Alexa,
I would love to see Alexa Bliss. If she shows back up to Rumble Boy, it's going to be a big pop.
it is, but when did she have her baby? that's the thing that I'm worried about. She just had a baby, so I don't know if she would be medically ready to come back. Uh, oh yeah, she just had a baby last month. Um,
And look, just say she just for pops. She pops in. She's in there for a little bit, gets thrown out,
it could work.
just for the just for the quick pop.
She could do that. Maybe, maybe. I'm going to lean towards no, but maybe you just never know. Really, they have enough females there now that you don't need to pull anybody who is not active. Uh, and I would like to see more NXT women in it too.
Yeah, November 27th.
Yeah. Uh, Tamina Snuka just retired.
Hendricks Road.
What's that?
That was November 27th.
Yeah.
So you got November, December. You got 3 months.
2 months.
Yeah. So maybe she just pops in.
And the cool thing about this is that her daughter's middle name is based on Bray Wyatt.
Okay. That's cool.
She named her daughter Hendrix Rouge, and Rouge is, I want to say, French for red. I think it's red. But anyway, there was some connection to that and Bray Wyatt. She wanted Honor Bray, so that's where Rouge came in. She explained. I think it's for the color red. But yeah, I cannot wait for the Rumble. Okay,
Yeah.
Rouge is red. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is. It means red.
So we do know we are not going to see Charlotte in the Rumble. Rhea won't be in the Rumble. Io won't be in the Rumble. We already know that. It's not decided yet if they're going to have matches at the Rumble. I don't know if Gunther is going to be in the Rumble.
I think he'll have a singles match against somebody.
I was really hoping that it would be him and the Miz at the Rumble when they had that stipulation that if Miz loses, he cannot wrestle him again while he has that title. And for something like that, they should have waited for the Rumble to do that instead of just a regular Monday Night Raw. They should have waited for the Rumble. But with that said, I would like to see Miz come in and have a great showing at this year's Rumble to keep the momentum that he's got going on now, because the last few Rumbles he's had have been poor. So I would like to see him have a great showing at this year's Rumble. Because he had a great match with Gunther at Survivor Series. He had a great match with LA Knight. Payback, I think it was. So Miz is on an uphill trend, and I would like to see him continue on with that for the Rumble.
I'm fixing to have to jet out. I need to get on the road.
Yeah, we have been on for an hour and a half, so.
Looking at, you were talking about the day after.
day after the Rumble, so that would be January 28th.
Do you want to try to do one, say the 20th? I'll do a pre-Rumble and then do after Rumble.
The 20th would not be a good time for me because I'm going to be having my jaw cut into on the 18th.
Okay.
I know I'll be good for the 28th, the day after the Rumble.
Okay. I'm off the 13th and 14th.
Okay, let's plan for that then.
Okay.
Yeah, let's plan for that because you'll be working the next 2 weekends, right?
Yeah, you want to try the 14th?
Okay, let's do the 14th. Same time.
Be a Sunday, yeah.
Okay. And by then, we'll have a fair idea of what the Royal Rumble card looks like then.
Sounds good.
All righty. So, Chris, thank you for hopping on.
Jill, Chris, and
I'm
Heath.
surprised Joe didn't hop on. Oh, no, he said he was doing something today. Yeah, he said he was going to be doing something today, so I forgot about that.
Okay.
So,
If we're going to do it the 20th, that we said? No, the 14th. 14th, I'll try to do some posts and all that between now and then. Various sites and all. Try to get some folks in here.
And I won't be able to create the studio for the show until the 14th, to the 7th.
Okay.
Because the StreamYard, you only get 7 days to create before anything before that.
Sure.
They won't allow you to.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So until the 14th,
we'll see you. Enjoy the craziness that's happening right now.
Yeah, especially the craziness that's going to happen tomorrow night. Oh boy, it's going to get wild in New York City as it always does.
And I am. Well, you're talking about non-wrestling stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the New Year celebration that they have in New York City, they have like 2 people filling up the streets. 2 million people filling up the streets.
Yeah, I thought you said 2 people. I was like, huh?
No, yeah, my brain does that sometimes.
I got you.
So, all right. So, Happy New Year, and we'll see everybody next time.
See you on the 14th.
Bye, guys.
Bye.